Okay, good morning or good afternoon. It's morning here in Arizona while I'm recording this second edition of our conversation. Let's see. Always been Asian. I found your answer interesting. I think you've always been Asian and very Asian, or more Asian than I am. So to hear you talk about how American you are is interesting, and is probably something that you certainly come to realize exactly how American you really are when you're not in America. Subject options in American schools. We are currently looking at colleges for Alexis and trying to navigate that process and what that looks like. One of my observations, and I certainly went to very small colleges, so this might not have been true even back then, but we were looking at Arizona State University, and they have a variety of options, a variety of campuses, but the amount of majors that they offer was a little overwhelming to me. I didn't even know what some of the words meant, let alone what it would be to major in that area. So trying to emphasize that early on in the process, you don't have to pick a major. That's something for you to kind of explore and find out. But just to look at the lengthy list of options is surprising. Also exciting because you can kind of do whatever you want, which is really nice. So, had I get the chance to do it all over again, I wouldn't change anything, but it would be interesting to if I would have known about all of those options had I gone down the same path. Okay, so you asked me about my kids. You said I am incredibly successful, which is true, very true. But it is definitely not because of the things that I own. I have a hot tub, which makes me pretty much a baller, but that is not why I am successful. I am successful on a lot of different levels because I go to work and I like what I do. I am successful because I have a wife and kids that I love a lot, and I think for the most part they love me back. So I have that, and I think I've just surpassed a lot of the expectations that I've had for myself, and that my parents and family had of me, which is nice to think. When the expectations are so low, it's a little easier to surpass them. So maybe that's what I should do for my kids is just have super low expectations, and they can feel good about themselves. No, I probably won't do that. What do I want for my kids, or how will we define success? That's a very hard question, but something I was glad to put some thought into. I am listening to a book, or just listened to the book Upstream, and talks about thinking ahead and solving problems before they start, kind of thing, and indicates that one of the only areas we really do that naturally is in parenting. So it is always a win the day mentality, with the end goal being making this person able to survive on their own. Each child is very, very different, so you have to do that and find different ways to do that. To steal a line from my Uncle Joe Biden, really, if my kids are successful, it means they will have found something they can be passionate about. Work, family, something in life, a hobby. Find some passion and go after it and do it. Well, I don't know what that's going to be. I don't know what that is for all three of them. But we try to keep them involved. We try to, I'm certainly trying to make them more well-rounded. I can use my own childhood as an example of a great childhood, a wonderful childhood, wonderful upbringing, great parents, great family. But I think I had to do it all over again. I would like to be a little bit more well-rounded, not so sports, but maybe sports, something, fill in the blank, something else. So trying to expose our children to as many different experiences as possible. Of course, there will be sports, especially for those who choose to go that route. We'll support it 100%. But um, just to be more than sport, and to have more opportunities there. So when they do grow up, they will have a nice background, a base of which to look back on and say, you know what, I really like some of these things, and or I did not enjoy that, and know why they do or don't like it. So is there something that's tangible, some evidence that's going to show that I did a good job or that we did a good job? That's hard to say. I would like to think that they will graduate college and have a college degree. But at the same time, I need to be open-minded enough to know that if that is not their path, if that is not where their passion is, that I'm going to be okay with that and support whatever it is they do choose to do. So I would like to think that they would be able to have shelter, not be wondering where their next meal is coming from, those types of things. But if they get that, and then they've got something that they really like to do, then I'm good. There's a big difference between the wants and the needs, and I'm trying to emphasize that. So if they have everything that they need, then I've done my job. I think that answers that. That is it's a lot to grapple with, and a lot to think about. But I'm hopeful, and I think we are doing a good job, and I think they will have every opportunity to succeed in this life. It's up to them to determine what that looks like, and how they achieve that. My mom thought I should be a UPS driver, and that was her definition of success for me. So nothing against being a UPS driver, but I think I did well not being a UPS driver. Okay, so I just recently spent some time in Oklahoma with my in-laws. I find the whole experience fascinating on so many levels. Oklahoma is not always looked upon with the greatest amount of prestige or respect, but I do find elements of that state and that area that are admirable, and the people there are admirable, and they're things that I really enjoy. Hanging out with my in-laws is one of them. It's interesting to me. I get to learn about my wife, where she came from, why she's the way she is, what makes her tick. You have in-laws. Your circumstances are interesting to me because you don't necessarily speak the same language as your in-laws, and you don't live in the same country currently. So what have you learned from your in-laws that has let you know or taught you about your wife? What have you learned from them that has taught you about kind of who you are, and how you've become the person that you are, the differences in your upbringing and Hyung's upbringing, and has it been more difficult because you don't really speak the same language, but you lived really close to them for a long time? So what's your relationship like with them? How well do you know them? Um, and how has that affected where you're at right now and what you'll do in the future, if that makes sense. Okay, round 2 is complete. I'm going to go get on a kayak today. Hope I don't fall in. We'll talk soon.